Bruh, this may be way worse than we thought. Yes, we lost to San Antonio. It was the second game of a back-to-back, 3 out of 4. Sure, we had the day off, and we lose to the Brooklyn Nets after being up 18 points in the third quarter. They were on the back-to-back after beating the Kings the night before. So we've lost to Brooklyn Nets and the Clippers twice when those teams all had back-to-backs, and they were on the second leg of it. This is not good, folks. This is not good. Randy Silver, Warriors Digest. We're going to break down the game, but we're going to really focus on one key stat you have to see that's hurting this team. Steve Kerr's 12-man rotation and some quotes from the players, maybe eye-popping, we're going to share for you. So this is not good, folks. The first time we've lost back-to-back games this year. Yes, we're still top in the West, the top area, top 2 teams, us and OKC. But we got to figure this out. Kuminga's out hurt. Is he going to be the game changer? No, I think we're seeing some faults with the Warriors, and it's careless plays. Let's go over some stats first and dive into it before we get to the quotes. Warriors were led by 17 against San Antonio, 18 tonight against Brooklyn, and lost both. These were the games we were winning earlier in the season. These are the games I talk about consistently. You have to win these games because when you get to the playoff time, you're either a playoff team, a play-in team, or you don't make it, and seeding home court away because of games like this. You can't lose double-digit leads like this, especially the Warriors. We saw against the Rockets it happen, and we ended up winning the game. The Hawks, it kind of happened. So we get the lead, and we take our foot off the gas. That is not a good sign of this team. 2014-2018 Warriors, third quarter, foot on the gas, never broke. Not anymore. Warriors are 12-5 now. Nets hit 23s, scored 41 points in the fourth quarter. You can't let a team get hot like that. It's because we slowed down. We gave them a chance. They saw there was a gap, and they took it. Now, Wednesday, Chase Center, OKC versus Warriors. 1 versus 2, West Coast. Let me make this bigger. Warriors blew an 18-point lead to the Nets at home. Entering Monday, the Warriors had won 24 consecutive games when leading by at least 18 points. That is no more. And that is concerning, folks. That is concerning. A 13.5-point favorite blew an 18-point lead in the second half at home is nuts. A 13.5 favorite, folks. One of the biggest favorites all season lost. We saw the same thing with Celtics losing their first game of the season, I think it was, or maybe it was second, against the Hawks, big favorite, lost. Same here. Nets outscored the Warriors by 26 points over the final 18 minutes. Turnovers, bad shooting. Steph attempted 0 2-pointers. One more time, 0 2-pointers. It's the first time in his career when he played 15-plus minutes and didn't attempt a single 2-point shot. He was making some threes, but his game is predicated on getting to the rim to help him open up a little bit of mid-range and, of course, the threes. But no 2-pointers is wild. Warriors combined last 2 fourth quarters, San Antonio and Brooklyn, outscored by 33 points. 33 points, 74-41. That is not a team that is closing well and taking their foot off the gas. It's tough. It's hard to watch. It's something that can't continue to happen. But the reason that's happening is teams are feeling like they're getting back in the game because turnovers. The name of the game for Warriors is turnovers. Below 15 turnovers, you win the game. We had 13 turnovers. We're right here in the right column. However, they scored 26 points off our 13 turnovers. We scored 12 points off their 12. That's a plus 14 margin. That is hard to make up. Very hard to make up. In addition, we both made a lot of threes, 19 and 20. So that's a net even. You look at free throw line, they made 15 more free throws. 15 more. So they had 15 more points from the free throw line. And they had an extra 14 points off turnovers. Maybe there's some overlap there. But you get what I'm showing you. We won the points in the paint margin. But that is so much to have to overcome. And you can't do that in this league against good teams. Folks, look at this again. Warriors, First quarter down 4, not terrible. Great second quarter. Third quarter down 4 again in the points margin for that quarter. And then fourth quarter just absolutely outscored, outdestroyed. It was hard to watch. It was very frustrating. Brooklyn didn't have a couple of their big men, so it was good we won in the paint. But you let Schroeder go for 31. He's always been a Warriors killer. Wilson, Williams, and Thomas all had double digits, almost 20 or above 20. Warriors, Green, 6 points. Waters, 13, getting in the groove of being in the starting lineup. Wiggins, 18. Curry, 28, but again, no 2-pointers. For Green, nice, well-rounded stat line, though. 6 points, 7 assists, 6 rebounds. Moody, we'll have a quote from him in a second. He only got 16 minutes, 15 points. Played really well in the first half, and Kerr just goes away from him in the second half, and I've been calling that out all season. Brandon made a 3 finally, but overall, just not good enough by this team. So the question is, Steve Kerr, what are your thoughts after San Antonio and Brooklyn?
I mean, you don't want to overreact, right? I mean, 2 games ago, everyone's feeling great. We're 12-3. We got, big leads in late third in both games. So we have to address what's happened these last 2 games. I don't think it's a fatigue thing. I think it's an execution thing. And so we'll have a practice tomorrow, which would be great. We haven't had one in a week, so tomorrow will be a much needed practice. And we'll have another one Friday. And so this week sets up pretty well for us to actually get a couple of days to execute, and hopefully that'll help us get back on track.
I agree. Practice makes perfect, and not having the ability to practice to work on some flaws is hard, especially in the grind of an NBA season. I agree with what he said. It's execution. You're having big leads, and then mentally, physically, you're just taking your foot off the gas. And that could be the rotations. Is 12 men too much? People aren't in rhythm. Could it be that, hey, the other teams are catching on and doing better second half adjustments? There's a lot that can go into it. And one of the big players, of course, is Steph Curry. Is he playing enough? And if I look at how much he played last game against Brooklyn, he played 29 minutes, then it hit 30 minutes, and really didn't play a lot in the end of the third, beginning of the fourth, when the run was making. Does Curry need to get back on the floor quicker? Here's Steve Kerr.
Yeah, I mean, we usually pencil him in for 32, and we'd like to keep it around that number. We were able to give him a good rest in the first half because the second unit was playing really well. And I don't love to run him the whole fourth quarter. I like to have him close with some energy, and so that means if we can give him that last 8 minutes, generally I feel pretty good about that. But at that point, Brooklyn was rolling, and we couldn't slow them down.
Could not slow them down, but were they rolling because you let that happen, Steve Kerr and the coaching staff, and not putting Steph Curry back in the game sooner? Are we playing too many people? Well, let's hear from the man himself.
Yeah, I think on the whole, we have, look at the bright spots of the start of our season. These last 2 games have kind of left a sour taste for sure, but we've given ourselves a little bit of cushion with a renewed kind of mindset on how we're trying to create offense. No matter who's out there on the floor, we're still playing 12 guys, and you have to be able to adjust no matter what the combinations are. So offensively, moving the ball, everybody being involved as a screener, as a passer, as a dribbler. I think we can be a little bit more intentional about what type of shots we might want to create with certain lineups, and that's part of the growth of the team. And we all have to be committed to making those adjustments. But on the whole, we're playing, pretty solid for the most part. There is another level to get to, and that'll kind of depend or decide, what the fate of this team is.
The end of that quote is really important. There's another level we need to get to, and that will decide the fate of this team. And that's perfect. The Warriors obviously are playing well, top 2 in the West, but They have deficiencies in the turnovers, carelessness, and in the paint. Yes, we're good, but we really don't have a traditional big man. And losing Melton next to Curry is a big loss. So there needs to be a trade, most likely, at the trade deadline to fill some gaps on this team and take us to that next level. Otherwise, we'll be a second round, maybe quarterfinal, maybe conference final exit. We just don't have the firepower to stay with the team. Now, someone who I think can be a big player is Moody, but he's not getting the minutes that I think he deserves. And here are his thoughts on it.
Third quarter, how important is like rhythm to be able to sustain, how you're feeling out there for you?
That's not a luxury I've had through my career, so I've kind of had to figure out how to play whatever happens, whatever the opportunity is. So I kind of just deal with whatever it is. So I don't necessarily look for outside things, as in my playing time, rotation, whatever it is. Just when I get the opportunity, I take the shots that I get, I take the driving lanes that I get, and just play.
He's very right. He does not get the opportunities he deserves. And I think he needs more playing time. Maybe he starts instead of Waters, but definitely play more in the second half because Moody does make game-changing plays. And hopefully he earns it because I think he deserves it.
Need to improve offensive execution. What does that look like? How do you improve that? In what situations are you guys not executing?
Practice. Only way to fix it, practice, get reps in, and know our stuff. And in game situations like this, we just gotta execute. Be locked in and execute.
GP2 said it right. Practice. The Warriors will have a practice today. This is Tuesday, and they play OKC tomorrow night. Black Wednesday in the United States, day before Thanksgiving. And we'll see what adjustments they make today in practice and be able to use in the game. And hopefully you'll subscribe to Warriors Digest if you haven't, because you see we break down Warriors news for you, give you live streams, everything in between. Help us hit 8,000 fans before the end of the calendar year. Comment your thoughts. Let me know everything. I'll see you on the next episode.